Yeah. I'm gonna play it real quick, make sure.
That was pretty good, though.
Yeah, it was. Where's the...
That makes sense, because people, I be saying some out of the box stuff, but just what comes to me.
You're fine.
Oh, okay.
You're good. You're good.
Oh.
Yeah, you trust me. You're good.
I don't want to be like nobody else. I want to be myself. So I do know some lingo. And
Here we go once again. You are listening to or watching the Carver Ave Chronicles podcast with Tony and Trae. How's it going?
How you doing, bro?
I'm good. So let's just talk about like the state of the world, right? And just because you're on social media, you probably see and hear a lot. I don't know. It's just for me, the world's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
The world's crazy. There's a lot of people that got some mental health stuff going on that they're not addressing. For sure.
That's true.
And of course, social media has helped us see more.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously things happen all over the place.
Right.
But with social media, now you can see it happening anywhere, anytime. You don't have to wait for the news anymore. It's literally,
right there.
Somebody's got a camera right there with the phone or whatever the case is. Why do you think the world is as crazy as it is?
Well, I want to go back to the part where you was talking about, we have to remember too, like with the pandemic hitting, it caused us to do what? We all had to go inside and deal with our loved ones or whoever we live with.
Okay.
Rather they was abusers, rather they was like always on the go and, we barely saw each other, so now we have to learn how to cope and live because we can't go outside. And think about it, what does that do to a person mentally? How does it affect you mentally to now have to deal with your real norm?
Mm-hmm.
Those that we actually live with. And I really do think, the pandemic has really, changed a lot. Well, to me, it actually brought a person to who they really are. It goes back to what I was saying in the last episode. Learning how to sit with yourself. If you don't learn how to sit with yourself, how can you deal with them that are around you? You know? And, because it really has changed. That's why we see a lot of suicide, if we think about it.
Because of the pandemic? Or
no, I'm talking about
just in general, you're saying people are not dealing with their issues, they choose the easy way out. Why?
This is just what I'm viewing, We can't deal with ourselves. A lot of times when you
she wanted me to cut that out, y'all.
Yes,
she didn't want us talking about suicide, but it's a part of life though. But why? But my thing is, but here's my thing. But why? It's a real thing though.
It is. When the pandemic first hit, I don't know about for anybody else. Let me speak for me. My anxiety was really high.
Okay.
When I mean really high, it was really high to the point to where I could not control it. I had to get me some meds.
Why?
Because for one, I didn't know what the heck was going on, and in the field that I was in, I'm in contact with people 24/7.
Right.
I was working through it all.
Right.
So I'm fearful and now scared that I might bring home this virus to my family.
Oh yeah.
And then now I'm wondering, am I gonna survive? Am I gonna live? My mind just began to race.
Mm-hmm.
It literally began to race. I would come home, strip, and stay in the bathroom for hours to make sure I was good before I went back out.
Wow.
For hours.
Wow. Now, on the other side of the coin for me,
yes.
My anxiety wasn't high. Now, was I concerned with maybe infecting somebody else with something?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit. And the reason why is because for me, I didn't want to live my life in total fear of the virus.
Right.
And I understood, even now it's still out here. It's not like it hasn't gone anywhere.
It is, yeah.
Right? But it's like life goes on. Back then, probably had to be more careful than anything when it first came out. Now, it's basically like the flu, to an extent. Depending on what you got, any kind of other illnesses, it might affect you different. But, I guess, the pandemic, it definitely changed how the world works.
Yeah.
Companies figured out ways to make money with people being at home,
Mm-hmm.
or they just cut out,
Yeah. Yeah.
services. They cut out, Walmart stopped closed at 11 o'clock,
Right.
or
Right.
whatever
Right.
case. What like they
Mm-hmm.
figured out ways to make their business
Yeah. Oh
work,
yeah.
or their operations work.
Yeah. There was so much pivoting
Yeah,
during
so
that
the
time.
pandemic changed a lot, and you're
Oh
right.
yeah.
People did have to deal with themselves. They had to
Yeah.
deal with their family. They couldn't travel. You know what I
Right.
mean? They couldn't really, there's a lot of outlets that you couldn't really do because of it. But you think the pandemic triggered some people, to where now when they got out here, like they was kind of like, but wow, it's like, hey, I'm free. I can kind of do whatever. Like it was all about social media and watching stuff on, YouTube and Netflix, whatever. So now I can be my own Netflix and create something. I'm trying to understand that whole
No, I
narrative.
mean I get you because I mean it really
Yeah.
has. I mean it really has changed to where a lot of people, know. Oh, I finally have a place I can make more money because we have more time now. I see that. I see. You still have some that are fearful of still going out. But most of all, what I really do see is we have created a platform to where people either have become lazy, or go getters.
Hmm.
You know, it's all about me type of thing. You can't say nothing, can't do nothing because of X, Y, Z. And
Well, I think are you talking about like, as far as LGBTQ and just certain things like,
I wasn't talking about that.
huh?
I wasn't talking about
No,
that.
no, no, no. But what I'm saying is, we talk about saying stuff. What do you mean? Like,
Well, I mean, it did create a sense of freedom of speech. We just put it
but
that
that's
way.
been okay.
Yeah.
That's I didn't know where you were going with
Yeah, I
it.
wasn't going that way with
Okay,
it.
well, I had no clue. But since you kind of brought it up, like for me, like I feel like that freedom of speech thing was happening before the pandemic.
I mean, it was,
Yeah.
I guess the social media actually, made it more broad. We have more of a platform to where we can watch it on. And see
Hmm.
it more so than others. I mean, I'm an introvert, so let me just speak for myself here. I don't do all this going out.
She afraid to touch on topics that I ain't afraid to touch on. Clearly. So.
So let me just speak for myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I know it has always have been. It's like now it's like people are more bolder now.
Absolutely.
I mean, like I said, now
Absolutely.
we have multiple platforms to express ourselves.
Yeah.
And
If you look at from the time, because obviously it wasn't Facebook, right? It was like MySpace and and I think it was Black Planet, or what
I don't know anything about
other
that.
they had some other ones out there like before Facebook became big.
Mhm.
And to now,
Mhm.
like your people are not afraid. I mean, there are people that literally are just like they share their daily life,
Mhm.
going live or
Yeah.
whatever, because that's just what society is used to now.
Right.
And honestly, truthfully, society has embraced it.
Right.
Because truth be told, well, even with our businesses, right,
Mhm.
we're only as successful as our content on social media and our
Right. That's so
followers
true.
and likes and
Yep.
different things.
Yep.
So like that's why I've been trying to create more content
Mhm.
and just try to like get into the algorithm to
Right.
gain more followers and
Mhm.
views and clicks and all that stuff, because that's where we're at.
Right.
And me being a creator anyways, like even with like Hollywood, right, like
Mhm.
being in the movies and TV and all that, like I'm not an actor or anything,
Mhm.
but a lot of times now it's about how many followers do you have.
And that's true. You're not.
You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
if I don't have at least 100,000 followers,
Nobody.
you're not really a good actor.
Right.
In their eyes. I mean, obviously you can be a
Yeah.
great actor,
Yeah,
but
that's in all
but that's so anything that we do now is predicated on social media.
It's true.
So,
It's so true.
um, pandemic, yeah, I mean, it changed a lot. I think social media, and for me, social media in general,
Mhm.
is why I think the world's crazy. I mean, and
Well,
I'm not
that's
saying
true. I
crazy in a
mean, it's
way
true
of
because
where people are like, obviously we're starting to see more mass shootings and different things.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But with that being said, it's like because the more you see and hear something,
Mhm.
the more normal it
Right,
becomes, right?
right.
So like to us now, mass shootings are just a normal thing.
Mhm.
But what I'm talking about is like seeing somebody do something weird
Mhm.
is more common.
Yeah.
Wearing weird clothing, jumping off of buildings
Oh yeah, yeah,
to
yeah,
try to
yeah.
get likes.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah,
doing
yeah.
extreme
Yeah, that makes sense.
things.
Yeah.
You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Women showing lesser, like
Yeah,
showing,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
less
yeah.
clothing and just
Right,
whatever.
right, right, right.
All of it. Like, just social media has made that
Oh
normal
yeah, it has.
to where people, like you said, a lot of people are like, well, if I become a content creator, I
Mhm.
don't have to go to work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm doing.
But that content creating stuff, and I work, right?
It's
And I try
work.
to do that at the same time, it ain't
It's a
easy.
lot of work.
Yeah.
A
It's a lot
lot
of work.
of work.
I mean, even this is going to be work. I got to sit here and create clips off of this. So, but for me, I feel like social media has definitely dominated our lives.
Oh yeah.
Because I was telling my a buddy of mine just yesterday, like
Mhm.
I was talking about some stuff. I said, hey, I'm gonna probably just use social media to promote,
Right.
and market. And he was like, well, what about radio? I said, yeah, radio might be okay, but I said, what's people got in their hands most of the time? He was like, a phone.
Right.
I was like, yeah, that's the
Right.
reason why I'm gonna go with social media.
Right.
Now he did talk to me into doing radio because there are people that are old school and all that, but for me, I feel like the majority of people are on their phone,
Mhm.
and even to the point where even older people they might not fully embrace the technology on their phone,
Mhm.
but they at least know how to do the basics,
Mhm.
call or at least text on a
That's true.
smartphone.
That's true.
So, um, so I think social media is part of it. I don't know. I just feel like in general, there's too many things going on in politics,
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
just dealing with different things in general that try to create, divisive
Mhm.
things within the country. You
Right.
know what I
That's true.
mean? And people get crazy over that
Oh,
stuff,
oh yeah.
And for me, it's like, look, I don't try to integrate any of that stuff in business for sure, because
No.
I no, you're
Yeah.
not going to
No.
sit here and oh well you're this so I can't do business. Mm-mm. I don't fool. I don't do religion. I don't do I just don't. Not when
No.
it comes
I
to business.
really. Yeah. I feel like people are entitled to who they believe and whoever they want to vote for.
Yeah,
Whoever
of
can convince
course.
you.
But you don't have to voice it though.
No.
But a lot of people that's all they got.
Right.
You know
That's
what I
true.
mean? So if their life is around Donald Trump,
Yeah. That's
that's
what
all
we're
you're
gonna
gonna
hear.
see. That's all you're gonna see and hear. You're gonna
Right.
but that's
Right.
what that's their so I put that's their God.
Yeah. That's true.
You know what I mean? A lot
Yeah.
of times, what the thing that we see and hear,
Mhm.
Nicki Minaj, that's somebody's God.
That's true.
They look up to her.
That's true.
They want to be like her.
That's true. That's their idol.
Kanye West, Jay Z, Beyonce. I can
Oh
go on and
yeah.
on. LeBron
The gay
James.
community. You got that right.
I can go on and on and on.
Right.
Like people make individuals their God.
That's true.
So, um, and they go crazy for those things,
Oh
right? I
yeah.
mean, literally, like people, when Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion had their little feud, people were literally going to Megan Thee Stallion's mom's grave
Wow.
and trashing it
Wow.
because they was riding hard for they called barbs for
Mhm.
Nicki Minaj.
Wow.
So sometimes with this topic of like, why is the world crazy?
Yeah.
Because of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
outside influences that we
Right.
allow
Right.
into our lives.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
So, and nothing against Nicki Minaj,
No.
any of these artists,
No.
anybody. We're just talking.
Right.
We're just talking. Um, do you feel like the church, in the state of the way the world is, has stepped up to maybe kind of help the community more to deal with some of this stuff?
This is my personal opinion now.
Her opinion.
Oh God, to a certain extent, yeah, but not enough. We're not more visible. I mean, yeah, we have with social media. We have.
Okay.
Let me rephrase that. With social media, you will find a preacher everywhere. You know, but let's talk about in the real communities. Are we actually really coming together? No, we're really not. And that's what it really matters. I'm not saying that in social media that it doesn't, but how about them you see every day? How about the pastor next door? How much do we come together as Christ would want us to be? Unified as the body to help do what? Save souls for his community, for his, for him.
Do you feel like now the pandemic definitely shifted how the church needed to operate because
Oh yeah.
they had to figure out real quick how to do live streaming.
Oh
A
absolutely.
lot of them did,
Oh yeah.
or create a podcast or whatever the case
Mhm.
is. Do you feel like the church kind of went downhill and started dying after the pandemic,
Oh
or was it dying
absolutely.
before the pandemic?
I believe it's dying more now because now that we're open, you still have folks who still wants to watch it on TV, Zoom, wherever your church streams at right now. And now this is not just coming from me. This is from numerous of pastors who have talked on this topic. How people will go to Walmart but will not come to church
Mm.
because we have got so used to watching it on TV
Mm-hmm.
or either watching it on Zoom or watching the stream live. So that's
Yeah.
why now more churches they still have their stream going on, which is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with
Mm-hmm.
that because we have a campus too as well. We have other people who watches us as well. So we have a community of people who watch us. So I'm not knocking it. However, if you are able to get into the house of God, I really do think it's very important to fellowship with one another
Right. Yeah.
because we don't know the lives of those who are on social media. So I believe it has died down because of the pandemic. They had got comfortable with just coming when they got ready. Because I can take my phone with me, right?
Yeah. No. I mean, right. Yeah. There you go. I mean, you can.
You know?
Yeah, you got the YouTube app. Hit it on you or Facebook or whatever the
Yeah.
case, whatever they're streaming on. Hit
Yeah.
it, and you can just walk around and look at it or hear it or whatever.
Yeah. So it has
So
died. It has died down.
yeah. So, but you don't think the church has been dying before then, though?
Oh, of course. I mean, of course it has. I mean, me and my husband talk about this all the time. When certain leaders leave the scene,
Mm-hmm.
things change. So of course the church has become a little bit weaker. You know.
Is this due to the fact that younger people don't see church the same as the old guard?
Right,
Okay.
right, right.
Yeah.
So that's why it's very important to raise your children up. You know, I believe in holiness. So, if I want them to carry on our legacy, we have to raise them up in that manner.
Right. Right. Yeah.
If not, they're going to bring in what they feel is, next. And I'm not saying not to keep up with what is going on in this community or in the world. I feel like we should get their viewpoint and see, well, what can we do to help keep you guys in? But I feel like we shouldn't change who we are to
Yeah.
fit your community
I
because the
think.
word works.
Yeah, I think for the most part, and for me, I always go back to the devices and social media.
Mhm.
I think because the kids have access to just a whole lot of stuff
Oh
on
yeah.
the tablets and all this stuff, iPads, whatever. Um, that's just all humans in general are just our attention spans are very low to begin with.
Oh yeah.
But now with the access to whatever you got on the phone, the tablet, stuff like that, like they're not going to be as engaged.
Right, right,
And
right.
then also too, because they have access to Google,
Mhm.
if they're looking up stuff, they might
Right.
find things that
That's
they
true.
might, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
That
true.
might be like, well, why am I going here or why am I doing
Right,
it?
that's true.
You know,
Yeah, that's true.
I lean on that. I mean, obviously, different reasons why, like you say. I mean, I think you're right. Though, once the old guard steps down or passes
Mhm.
away,
Mhm.
then the younger people they step up. You have younger
Mhm.
leaders stuff like that, but it's just like hard to really keep the youth
It's true.
in
It's
there and
true.
help them. Now, what I have seen though, I don't go to a church regularly or anything like that, but what I've seen is um, ministries embrace like gospel hip hop.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And certain things like that might appeal to the
Mhm.
kids. So I mean, they're trying different things. I think also too. Now this is for bigger ministries. I think now it's about creating an engaging environment, more high production bands and big screens and you know what I mean. Like I feel like it's like they're
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
create like an
Yeah. See for them to come, and I get that. However, I really do also, feel like the way you win a person is how you're going to keep them. So what about creating small classrooms? And learn how to, deal with each individual at each different age group. Why nothing wrong with building a bigger sanctuary, But how about let's also have small groups?
Yeah.
So therefore, we can also deal with them on their level, and at the same time, we're still reaching them, towards Christ, because that's still the ultimate goal. I don't want to always, I know music is what draws them. I know the fashion lights is what draws them. I get all of that, you know. But I also want your heart. I want Christ to change who you are, and teach you while you're yet young and who He wants you to be, because it starts while you're young.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I get that that's what keeps it. Because I love it. I'm not gonna say I don't. I do. But I have a balance with it.
Well, I mean, everybody loves music, right? I mean, they got certain types of music that they like, whatever the case is. Everybody loves music.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
It really is something. I mean, I think in general, everything has evolved.
And, yeah, it has.
What I'm noticing now is content is king.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've noticed, it went from, okay, well, if you create, and it depends on the platform, certain length of video, right? Let's say over a minute, you're good. Now it's like, well, what can you create that's short and sweet,
right,
that somebody can consume in 15 to 30 seconds?
Right.
That's what it's about now.
It really is. I mean,
and
you
can actually make more money doing that
mm-hmm.
than creating long form content.
True.
And it's
That's
wild.
True.
It's just wild that I don't know. I mean, I'm always just having to sit back and embrace certain things and change up certain things, but based on it, 'cause I'm like, man.
I mean, it goes back to the attention. I mean, what are you saying to grab my attention? What
am
I seeing for you to keep my attention?
Yeah.
Which plays a big key if you want me to continue to watch your reel.
Right, whatever the case is, yeah. I'm telling you, I know for me, I'm behind on that.
Yeah,
I really am. I mean,
I'm
not a big social media person. I'm not gonna sit here and share my meal and whatever, but I get that. Again, that's the part we have to embrace it now.
Oh yeah.
You have no choice. So
I mean, if you like for us, and this is because we had to pivot when it came down to ministry. My husband he was a very long-winded preacher. So but now he keeps it short and sweet.
Yeah. You got to.
Because we want you to come back next Sunday.
Absolutely.
And that's the same thing with content, and we want you to come back to keep watching or keep listening. It has to be short and sweet.
Yeah, it's all about, everybody's trying to find that viral moment. It's all about trying to find something that you can connect with people that it'll go viral, right? Even if it's just 10,000 views or something like that. It's something that really gets a lot of attention. But yeah, I want to ask you something really quick. I'm done with this. We're good. The world's crazy, guys. Be safe out there. Be safe. And just be aware.
Oh yeah.
Be aware.
Yeah.
Keep yourself in the know of what's going on. Do you remember?
Can I say one point with that?
Huh?
Can I add one point?
Go ahead. Yeah. Yep.
And always check in with yourself. I know y'all keep saying, why you keep saying the same thing over and over? Because I'm telling you, self-care is important.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So always check in with yourself.
Okay.
Every day.
Yep.
But go ahead.
And get your hair and nail done, or petty, whatever you want to do. all that stuff.
Those are actually added 30s, but go ahead.
Okay, now we're talking about Carver Ave here now. So this is a Carver Ave podcast, so I got to ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you remember the first time me and you learned how to ride a bike on
yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That was crazy, right?
Yeah.
We were sitting back running into people's cars and stuff.
I think about that all the time.
Oh man, yeah. Carlton. Stepdad Carlton was teaching us, man. Shout out to Carlton.
Yeah.
He's still with us in the land of the living. Shout out to him. For sure, but we was just sitting there, man, running people's cars and stuff. We were trying to ride them bikes, boy.
Sure was. Determination. I was determined to ride that bike.
Absolutely. We got it. We got it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I tell you, a lot of firsts in that street, man. Carver Ave, for sure. Yeah. All right. Like, subscribe, comment. Definitely on the Spotify or the different streams. Whatever they suggest. Any suggestions you might have, just let us know. For sure, let us know. It's a work in progress. Hope you guys like the content, and we'll bring some good stuff to you next time. This is Tone.
And Trae.
It's the Carver Ave Chronicles podcast. Peace. Nice.
Oh, Lord. Sorry, Tony.
You good.
That's just what I don't know.
No. Thanks again for listening to the Carver Ave Chronicles podcast with Tone and Trae. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Definitely subscribe wherever you get your podcast for future episodes.